Oh, wow. I've been trying to go live on YouTube for a minute. Um, can't go live on in- Instagram. So I'm going live here. It's 1:45 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Don't know who's up. I'm going to record this on the second camera so I can repost it to my Instagram. So if you're on YouTube and you do not follow me on Instagram, be sure to follow me on Instagram because there are things I post on Instagram that I don't put on YouTube, and vice versa. Okay. Okay, so I got this camera. You glad to see me live? Thank you. Yeah, I don't go live on Facebook too much. Usually I go live on Instagram. But Instagram has me blocked right now. My IG, here, I'll write it below. I have a couple of them. One of my Instagram pages I've had two Instagram pages get deleted this year. Um, so that's one. One of my Instagram pages is at the underscore Renaissance underscore Amazon underscore one. That used to be 81, but they deleted it at 25,000. I've had my page deleted at 25,000 about 3 or 4 times. And then here's my other page, The Body Scientist. Okay, so let me start this video for my Instagram. Okay, so I'm recording this video in two places for my Instagram as well. So be sure you follow me on YouTube. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Makeda Valletta. Also known as the Renaissance Amazon. Okay, I'm also known as the Body Scientist, and I think to get a well-rounded idea of who I am, you should follow me at both places, the Renaissance Amazon and the Body Scientist. Um, but I have a background in exercise science, sports science, nutrition science, and I'm a dancer. I'm a birth worker, sacred sexual educator, and I really believe in you know doing what helps us take our body to its highest level and live the best life possible, age gracefully, have function, and I'm up now. I've been reading a lot for the past few days because, for those of you who don't know, I am currently in a graduate program in medical cannabis science and therapeutics. Okay. And, I'm a science nerd. I am into social issues, I am into history and anthropology, right? But my real strong point is science. And so all this time, thank you, I have been super into the science of cannabis medicine, right? And all the ways it can help our body function at its highest level. And there's so much I've learned, and there's so much more to learn, right? But I thought, I wasn't really paying attention to, the laws and all of that. I knew that people were using cannabis for years. Uh, I know that I grew up around it. The people, the people that I know who are highly intelligent. Right now I'm in Amherst, Massachusetts, at UMass because my dad used to be a history professor here, and he came to speak at a memorial for a amazing historian who passed away last year. And my dad is 80 years old. Uh, his friends are in their 80s. I have an uncle here who's a few years older than that, somewhere in his 80s, and their brains are still intact. Okay, their brains are completely intact. Um, and I grew up listening to them have intellectual conversations all the time, and still like that. So the way some people grow up seeing like family members drink beer or alcohol, I grew up around cannabis, but I was not consuming it when I was in high school. I was a goody two shoes. I looked down on people who did that. I wasn't until I grew up, right? And so anyhow, as a practitioner, and I hope that people on YouTube can still hear me because I have a message that says it's unstable on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube listening to my live, please let me know if my video is frozen or not. Um, I'm gonna write something. Hold on. Um, my videos, this is just all of the reason why you need to follow me on YouTube, Instagram too. Is my video frozen, YouTube? Um, anyhow, getting to the point, I am taking, right now I'm taking a class that is really going into depth with the history of cannabis use, prohibition, propaganda, and all the laws. Okay, it's a very complex history when you start putting in the smear campaigns, the propaganda, the suppression of science, um, and just facts and history, which also happens in nutrition, okay, in the food industry. That's why I'm telling you, I highly suggest you follow my other page, the underscore body underscore scientist, because that's where I go into depth with that kind of stuff, okay? So what the propaganda around cannabis mirrors the propaganda in nutrition. Okay, I'm so tired right now, so I'm gonna do this video quickly. But right now, this is one of the books that I'm reading. I always like to recommend books, right? Marijuana: A Short History by John Hudak. This is one of the books, one of the required books, but also there's lots of other required reading, and I'm also always researching other things. And this is a short history, but it's really about the laws, the policies, okay, which is very complex and very interesting. And I never thought that this path would lead me to want to even get involved in politics. But I grew up around that. My mom's a union organizer, so she's the least important person when it comes to getting these laws passed. So who's in Congress and all this stuff. Um, but I've always been an educator, right? I think that educating the people is really important because public opinion around cannabis has changed a lot, even in like since the 80s, since the 90s, where, in America, things follow demand. So cannabis has a lot of medicinal value and or it's harmless for those who just smoke weed or whatever. Um, there is more public support for it, right? But there's years and years and years and decades of Republicans and Democrats, okay, trying to reform these cannabis laws, and especially make it legal federally. So somebody says something happened to the live. Okay, so I guess it's the YouTube version. Um, hold on, let me still find out on YouTube. Oh no, sorry, it's the Instagram version. Let me ask people on YouTube. Can you still not hear me? See, all this technology, it's a good thing I did it on two cameras because all this technology just be giving me problems. Um, so I'm gonna try to make this quick because I am tired. Oh, this is another book that I highly recommend. That is like crazy. Hold on. And I found out about this book from the documentary Grass is Greener, written by my buddy Fat Five Freddy. If you haven't seen that documentary, you should see it. It's on Netflix. It's an excellent documentary going into the history of propaganda. I mean, the history of prohibition, which sounds like propaganda, right? In this country, which also affected the rest of the world because at one point, cannabis was illegal all over the world. Okay, it was legal all over the world. The whole world was cultivating it, using it for a variety of things. They called it hemp. Okay, hemp, cannabis, marijuana, all the same thing. Okay, um, but that part, Freddy's documentary is excellent, and it really goes into the connection of cannabis with jazz culture. Okay, and Mexicans, and jazz culture in New Orleans, jazz culture in New York. How this dude Harry Anslinger really believed. Oh, and now my other camera stopped too. I can't believe it. I was recording on my other camera and it stopped. See, this has not happened to me in the longest. It just doesn't want me to be great. So on YouTube, I'm thinking that you guys can't hear me either, right? So I'm just wasting my time talking to myself. This sucks. Ah, this sucks. If you're on YouTube, please let me know. I guess nobody can hear me. So I'm gonna have to do this all over again. This is no okay.